almost on time.
You need to mute that.
Yeah, can you hit the mute?
You're gonna have to go over there.
What's the mute?
It's the button on the top that says speaker. You say speaker up, speaker down. No, the very top. Jay. Damn it, deep dish. Very top of the computer, mute. All computers have the same mute button. Jason, no, don't help him. He'll never learn, Jason.
He's not gonna learn that.
No, I'm gonna be Barry.
Nope. Get your hand out of your pocket.
I'm gonna be Barry.
Get your
I'm
hand
Barry
out-
season
put it
1.
into the funds.
This is
Get
season
your
1,
hand-
Barry.
Get your
Hey.
hand out of the pocket.
It doesn't matter if I'm doing the hands like Fonz. Hey, in my pockets.
Get your
Hey.
hands out of the pocket.
I'm gonna smack the record player with my hand. Hey, in my
I gotta find
pocket.
a personal groomer for her. So those who are wondering, that's what's happening. She's too old to go to her actual groomer now. They deemed her a super senior, which I was really hoping that Super Saiyan would have been the term, but super senior is what they've gone with.
My heart.
So
Oh my God, a super senior.
they bathed her. That's all they could do.
That's what they said about Deep Dish. Because he's super.
Good, thank you.
Get your hand out of your pockets.
Hello, and welcome to the SYWB podcast.
Tell me about the
where
prices
we talk
in-
about the restaurant industry, kind of, and our lives around it.
Go
You have a
low.
knot. Oh, you need to get a scissors so I can cut it.
Cut the light. I'm glad Jason
No,
didn't
where you
notice what
gonna
was
go?
happening. All right,
Where you going?
I'm doing stand up now,
At least.
As you sit down.
and now I'm
Trying to
doing
fight
sit
me.
down. Thanks for ruining the
You're gonna
joke.
get groomed on
Deep Dish.
Monday. Actually, you can
Thanks
probably
for ruining the bit. The only bit that I had this whole episode.
Monday after.
We're back, kind of.
Dude, what is he mumbling about?
Oh, I don't know. I'll find it later in the edit. Sorry, the editor will find it later. I hired an editor.
All right. It's coming out of his paycheck, which is coming out of my money pool. So regardless,
Every time
everything we're doing
Jason talks
But-
is
about
one big cumulative work.
I meant to say this to you.
So, mate,
Speaking
take
of
it easy.
money- Speaking of money, the Patreon is now charging $3.99 or $6.99. I can't remember which.
yeah, because Apple
for
overcharges.
every- right.
I know you're not gonna see this, but my roommate walked by, but he looked like he was about to walk into like a talk host. He's like, "Bye, everybody." I was like, "Goodbye, man."
He's right there if you want to switch the camera.
Every time.
So-
What? We're gonna show the outside neighborhood? That's a great idea.
I have a question. So.
Well, hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying first.
Okay.
Every single time Jason talks about, I say anything about money, Jason acts like A, he's the only one who pays me, like I'm a cop and a sovereign citizen is talking to him. B,
I'm
no one else
sorry,
gets that joke. That was funny. B, like I don't make
you're
like
back.
I
Okay.
like he's the one who
Welcome
pays
back.
me. It's A and B, same thing. Jason, interview. Why? Why are you so insecure about my funds?
When you're friends, because you complain about money more than us, and we give you the money.
When
I don't
do I
know which
complain-
more do you want.
I complain about money more than you because you get way more money than me. What are you talking about?
That's not how I see it. My paycheck
No.
was low that day.
That day. Yeah, look at the year. Then,
My
then
day,
talk to
that
me.
day, that day.
Look at the end of the year and then talk to me. Buy a new
I love how
car.
servers always talk about that day. I'm like, that was Tuesday. What did you, nothing happened.
Yeah, like
I was there with you.
that was like
we were just
you know,
walking.
most of the time, the was leave with more money than me. That's not.
I never
true.
did understand that. I never
'Cause
did
it's not
understand the
true. If it was
complaint.
true, we'd be making a higher salary than you guys.
I was like, out of all the days you're picking, why is it the one day that it's supposed to kind of happen? Because it is a big event that we actually got our hands on.
Wait, what are you saying?
Whenever they complain about that stuff, I'm like, they're gonna be making more money than us, and I'm
Are you
just
trying to
like,
go under the cameras? It's a wide angle, dude. Just say hi. Hello. What's that noise?
almost dropped something.
Oh,
Sorry,
I guess I
stupid.
should do an actual intro. The third one. Ready?
I'm sorry.
Welcome
I get cut today. I'm gonna.
the SYWB podcast. We're talking about the drama of the restaurant industry and our lives around it. This is episode 29, I believe. We are slowly, again, I think I said this last week, but we're definitely not using that one.
We're
Slowly, the one podcast I listen to is catching up to us, which is sad because they started like 3 months after us. I don't want them to catch up, so really got to keep this going. Stop skipping weeks. Although, to be fair, they get paid for it. So, what were you saying about Patreon?
Well, real quick, to this point,
To me? Subscribe to Patreon. We get money. You get entertainment. Well, you get long entertainment. What's up?
is
Don't look at
there-
me.
Thank you.
Look at me like you're some kind of feminist. You are a dog. Relax.
What are you talking about?
She's mad right now, and I understand why she's mad. It's just
Is that
because
why
I
she-
brought up her business. She's
is that
like,
why
I
she
know you're
pissed on
talking
the
about
floor?
me. Fucking-
Is that why she a little pissy on the floor?
Yes.
Is piss a swear word? Do I have to bleep that?
I have no idea. Yeah, I was gonna say she's just been having a bad weekend.
Well, I know
It's
Jason has
getting
a
worse and
story.
worse. I do. What was my story?
You said you walked up to me one night and said, "I have a story for the podcast," and you walked away. I was like,
Oh no,
"Write it
I
down."
forgot about it. I'm just kidding.
Forgot about it.
I remember that. So we brought this over up a lot of times. Actually, he is fundamentally.
Oh well, before this, because this has to do with last week, and I tried to bring it up last week, and then cut to me. Things occurred. If I'm staring at the camera, just cut to me.
Oh crap! We didn't.
Do we? Do you what? Hello and welcome.
Hello, welcome.
Technical difficulties.
I shat myself. What?
All right. What?
He just shit
So, for last week's question, because it was topical last week, I swear, even though this is coming out now, probably next week, so it's gonna be 3 weeks late.
Topical.
Okay, so you know how the clock changes at 2 a.m. It goes back to 1 this time of year?
Yeah.
This happened last week. Deep dish? If you go to bed after 3 a.m., do you still gain an hour of sleep? How is that?
because you haven't set your clock back to 2 o'clock.
No, the clocks go back automatically, is what I'm saying. So if you go to sleep at 3 a.m. with the clock being reset, do you still gain an hour?
Yeah.
Like if you go to sleep after the time...
It's irrelevant what you do after
Yeah.
How?
the time change.
Explain this to me.
Because the time changes no matter what you are physically doing. That time changes
Yeah,
whether
yeah.
you're awake or asleep.
Let me put this up for you. Say you have to wake up at 9 a.m., right?
It's
Yeah.
still 9 a.m.
I know, hold on. You wake up at 9 a.m. But, like, say normally you go to sleep at 2, right? So if you go to sleep at 2 on that night, it's 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So if you go to sleep on time, you sleep for
8 hours.
8 hours. If you go to sleep at 3 a.m. after the time change, you're
But-
still only sleeping 6 hours, right? You don't gain
No,
another hour.
because that 3 o'clock reflects the time change as well. So does 9 o'clock.
Exactly.
It reflects the time
But
change.
so look, this is your sleep. Everything just goes like this. Well, if you go to sleep after the time change, right? Like you don't gain an hour of sleep if you go to sleep after the time change, right?
Yes, you do.
How? Because all of your sleep
Because
just
the
goes like
time
this.
goes back by 1, and your
I
body
know, but
alters
same
it.
hours.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have
I'm
an
not.
extra hour before and also not after. It's
Yes,
one or the other. Because the time changes by an hour.
I should bring a
whether
whiteboard.
You are awake or asleep. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna die on this hill. You don't get another hour of sleep.
If you go to sleep,
You do.
Not if you go to sleep after the time change. If you go to sleep at 3
Yes,
a.m.
you do.
No.
You do.
Yes, you do.
No.
Because then you're going to sleep at 4 in the morning instead
No,
of
no,
3
no.
in the
It
morning.
blops back.
Right. If you go to sleep at 3, then you're actually going to sleep at 2. So you
2.
still gain right. So it's still.
But you're still
7
waking up at 9,
hours.
which is 10
10 what?
a.m.
No. You said you wake up at 9. That's reflecting the time.
Exactly. Which is so if the time hadn't changed, it'd be 10, right? So you're
Yeah.
going to sleep at 3 and 10, but really it's 2 and 6, 2 and 9.
7 is 7.
So you're not
7
gaining an hour. That's what I said.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you
No,
are.
you just said 7 and 7. If it was different, it'd be 7 and 8.
It is. The time
It's not.
changes at 2.
Exactly.
So it goes back to 1 o'clock at 2 o'clock. It doesn't.
Exactly.
It doesn't.
So if you go to sleep
become
at 3,
2 at 2. It
so if you go to sleep
changes.
at 3, you don't gain an hour.
Yes, you do.
You.
No, you don't. This is insane. I didn't think this would be an argument. No.
Dylan, you do, because double shifts at night, they leave at 13 hours on the mark because they're gaining the extra
Because they
hours.
started before the time change. I'm saying if you go to sleep after the time change, you don't gain an hour of sleep. If you go to sleep at 1 a.m., you're going to gain an hour of sleep. If you go to sleep at 3 a.m., you do not gain an hour. Right? I'm going to bring a whiteboard next week. This is ridiculous.
I know.
No.
It's fucked up that you say that because I swear to God, I was just thinking that's what we need.
How do you not agree with this?
Whiteboard.
It's basic time math. Which, to be fair, I'm normally bad at, but I swear I
wish-
got it here.
I wish I
I'm a
I
time
know
traveler. I know how this works.
It's not a matter of right or wrong, but
Watch my
I
show.
can't articulate
Weird
well
topic
enough to make you understand that
Worried about
That you're wrong.
You gain an hour no matter what.
You don't, though.
But I don't want to.
I don't think this was even the main point of what I was saying. We just got stuck in this.
But you do. Because the time changes.
If this is your sleep, right? This distance. Oh, I was gonna throw up, but I burped. If you go to sleep at 1 and wake up at 9, boop, you gain an hour, right? Cut to me. If you keep the same, if you just, this is your sleep again, and you go to sleep at 3, which is after the time change, you don't, it's the same because you don't gain that hour because it's still, it would be 9 and 3
But
instead of 10 and
But you do
2.
gain that hour because the time goes back to 2 o'clock
Before you
the deal.
sleep.
But when you say 3 o'clock,
It's 2 o'clock.
if the time hadn't changed, it would be 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay, that right there answers your question. That right there
Maybe.
answers your question.
But you're still waking up at 9, which would have been 10. So if you go to sleep at 4, yes,
No, if you're waking up at 9, that's
it would have
the
been
same
10 if it didn't change. Right?
Well, now you're changing the
No,
parameters.
I'm not. No, I'm
Yes,
not.
You are.
It's the same thing. If you just said if you went to sleep at 3 it'd be 4, right? Because time went backwards. Right?
Right,
He's just
but
talking about
So
this
then if
'cause
you
he
wake
was
up
late
at 9.
during the time change.
You're still
Yes.
waking up at 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which it would have been 10.
He
No.
was late, but he
Yes.
didn't want to blame it
The
on the
time
time
had
change.
already changed once. You can't change it back.
I'm not changing again. It would have been just like it would have been 4, it would have been 10.
So that's still 6 hours.
So it still says the same. Still says 6. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna put this online. I'm gonna put this on the internet. I'm not wrong.
For the one viewer that you're,
No, at TikTok we get like 300.
Oh, that's good.
It's not. Not on
Still did not
TikTok.
use TikTok.
No, it's really not.
Would you
And
cut?
I've
Would you
tried
cut
to
the
like-
camera?
I've tried-
Switch the camera. You
who?
do your camera.
To who? I've tried to like
whom?
The
TikTok.
wide.
I've tried to like these things on TikTok, and it freaks me out when you guys. I'm like, oh shit, there they are.
It's not like we're on television. We're on your cell phone. I can send you a picture. It'd be the same.
I like deep dishes going through TikTok, going, ah! Oh.
Oh, see, that's when you cut to him. I'm not wrong. I'm gonna get down the
It's
hill.
not a matter of right or wrong.
It absolutely is.
Okay, then you're.
Because I
wrong.
asked the question, and the
then you're
answer
wrong.
was what I said.
I wish I could. I wish we need a whiteboard. That will solve,
We need a
that
whiteboard.
will solve it all.
I have one. I have one for science. I'll bring it next week.
Does Orlando have one?
No.
He has,
Yes.
everything else in this fucking building.
Well, he's gonna have one now because I'm gonna leave it here for the space film. I needed to bring it no matter what. So this is a good. This is a good time. I don't think it'll fit in my tiny car.
How big is this?
It's a big. No, it's a whiteboard, dude.
So I got no input on this because I don't know.
Leave it
My
here
my
in case he
assumption is
wants
that
to
the time
use it.
just
He will,
shifts,
but that's
so
fine.
all hours stay.
I mean,
You're
if
gaining the extra hour because
well,
of
I
the one
understand that.
looping
I
itself.
understand that, but it's yours.
That doesn't make any
only
sense
if it's
either.
2 o'clock.
It's just what they're saying.
You don't gain an hour if you go to sleep after the time change. I'm telling you.
Oh my god.
I'm telling you.
Okay, can we just table that?
I don't want to. I wanted you to go as a.
Then go buy a whiteboard right now. Give him.
While you were at it, you should go to Target. Can you buy some dog food?
Shut up, Jason.
I also
Or
need
dog.
some deodorant.
I know you do.
I
Swamp ass that we talked about before
Bro
the
was
podcast.
flabbergasted
hold
by the
on.
response.
wash my butt. There are people that
Quote.
don't, and that is disgusting.
That's the episode. That's the name of today.
Quote the great man.
That's the episode's name.
I wash my own ass.
Hey, I wash my butt. That's the name of today's episode. That's it.
The people that don't are disgusting.
That's what I said
of course
before the
they are.
podcast.
That's why we don't want to.
Yeah, deep dish. You got all those crevices. It's deep.
Oh, I'm getting hungry now.
Yeah, I don't even know what the point of that. I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't know what he said. I don't know what the point of what I was saying was. Because I had a point to make. It wasn't the that you. I thought it was a basic fact.
It wasn't the time,
Let's go back to what you
Chips.
said. What'd you say?
but it was.
No. Why
it
is
was-
deep
it
dish
was in
laughing?
fact. What?
Because he's.
Oh, yeah,
He's
'cause-
saying deep dish. He goes, now I'm getting hungry.
Unforeseen
Oh yeah, that was
consequences.
unrelated, but yeah, that's that's poor timing.
No, I don't remember what the reason. I wrote a terrible note. I just wrote the question, but it's
Ugh.
like I thought this was
Write
the
the answer
basic
then.
concept was
Gosh,
you
damn.
don't gain an hour if you go to sleep after the time change, and then something. But I don't remember what it was. I just had the thing. I don't have the something after. All right, Jason's turn.
I don't know.
What is this
I got
big
nothing
boy
on the
restaurant?
input.
What do we? Oh, you asked me to talk about that. We'll talk about that next.
I got nothing on that input.
No.
I
We're
just-
skipping topics. What's your story from the restaurant?
Okay, fine then. Gosh, just fucking walk over it, I guess.
That's what he said. We said we're tabling it. I'm gonna table my ass and then I'm gonna wash it.
That should be the title.
Oh, that doesn't make no sense.
So what do I have again?
Did I say last week that Jason was the wild card?
Yes.
To be fair, you
Hey, no,
gotta
no, I'm
stop saying
saying-
To be-
last week.
No, it's last
I-
week. I'm saying, do I gotta say it again?
I was gonna say, to be honest, I don't know about that video. That's all up to you.
No, we're not
But-
using that. We've been over this.
Okay, so I don't think
Is
we've
that
ever
gonna go
mentioned
to the
that.
lost tapes?
Yeah.
Are you gonna post
No,
it
it's
on
Lost
Instagram?
tapes.
It's lost.
So
So
buying a VHS tape just for that.
I'm gonna.
Podcast.
You know what's
Don't
funny?
worry.
I can actually print it on VHS. You want me to?
Yeah.
That would be funny.
It'd be great.
That would be funny.
And it'll go on the shelf. I'm gonna figure out how to do that.
That would be funny.
Wait,
Yeah.
90 minutes. Yeah, that could fit.
You can do it.
Titanic. Half a
You
Titanic
can
fits on a
record-
VHS.
You can record up to 4 hours on a VHS.
I was gonna
not
say,
true.
like the
Because
latest
Titanic
It
VHS.
absolutely is.
No, it's not. Titanic took 2 tapes. It was 3 hours long.
Dude, I
Titanic-
grew up in the VHS era.
I did too. Titanic. No, you
No,
didn't.
you
You grew up in the fucking
Dinosaur age. Okay, don't even start.
Laserdisc era. VHS was after
The
your time.
Laserdisc?
Yeah, you don't know about Laserdisc? Oh, now this guy's not old.
I have no idea. I thought you were talking about a compact disc being a laser disc.
No, there was a
No,
Laserdisc
no.
like this big. It was like a record player, but for video. You don't. Okay, now
I
this guy
have
doesn't know about
no
old
idea what
technology.
you're talking about.
It came out before
That's
VHS.
fine. It was never popular to begin with. It was.
It was,
like
and that's why
something
you
that
don't know
was
why it's
trying to,
failed.
but it fell off.
No, so VHS, there was a double tape set for Titanic because Titanic was 3 hours long. So you needed 2 tape decks, VHSs, to play. You had to switch the tapes
I
in,
don't know.
in
I
the
wouldn't
middle.
believe that, especially with today's time. I'm pretty sure there was like a better version of VHS before.
And
the
if Titanic could do it, I'm
call.
just assuming that no one could. You know what I mean? Like that was a big ass movie.
Yeah, but VHS was still going on
But
after
you
their
also
time.
assume
So
that you lose an hour's sleep.
I assume you don't if you go to sleep after the time change. I'm not assuming. I'm doing basic math. I'm a time traveler for God's sake. I should know about
Anyways.
this. Watch my show.
Then you're a terrible one.
I am. I get it
Not
wrong
even-
a lot. That's kind of the point of the
not
show.
even the Time Lord was behind them on this one.
I've talked about this on the podcast before. That's a big.
Okay.
Don't Google the time change thing.
No, I didn't.
Good.
Don't Google.
I will concede.
Yeah,
You
I
are-
figured.
You are
Just
correct.
because the Titanic is the only reason I figured that.
You are correct. It's 2 hours.
2 hours max.
Yeah.
Huh.
A T120 VHS tape standard play equals about 2 hours.
Yeah, I remember it being in 90 minutes because I think. Well, maybe they just did that for safety.
So
They just,
you can do it on one.
no, it's a 3-hour movie.
No, the podcast.
Yeah.
We're not showing.
I mean, I have 1,000 VHS tapes at my house.
Well, we can also buy more.
I might be able to buy a
When
blank
you, When
one.
you go by the whiteboard in 10 minutes, why don't you pick up a stack of VHS?
Got it. 1998. What was I fucking saying?
You were talking about.
Oh yeah, while Jason's looking for his note, unless he's playing a video game. I didn't know this until last week. Sorry, 2 weeks ago, Halloween special. But Jason is the goddamn wild card of the group, and that's a surprise, which is potent. Or what's the word?
Potent. What the fuck you talking about?
That's not the word I meant to say. Poignant, because if he's the wild card, it should be unexpected, I guess, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't be wild.
Why is he the wild card?
He just does stuff, dude. Like
Because I live my
don't
I
do
live my
anything.
own
No,
life.
no, no, like, when we're
without
out
no one
doing,
really
like-
knowing.
during the podcast, he was just like, first of all, pretty wild. Like, but when we're out doing stuff, he just like goes and does. Like, if we say something one time, and to discuss it, he'll just be doing it by the time I turn around to say, hey, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Provide an example.
I don't have one.
Guns.
Was that what? Yeah, I know. Yeah, during the pumpkin special, he was like, oh yeah,
All
if
right,
you
boys,
watch,
load these bitches up. I want this surrounded. I want this filled. You fill them. That's it.
if
Halfway
you watch the
through, we're
pumpkin
done.
episode, he's just doing stuff in the background the whole time, and it's like throwing shit around that no one else is like paying attention to at all. You didn't
I
watch
grabbed
it,
the
did you?
chicken. I named it.
I didn't think.
He
I forgot
named
the name
chicken.
though. I forgot the name of the chicken though.
I didn't think his behavior was any different than normal.
It's because we
It was
hang out
absolutely
more.
different. That's why I made the content better. Like that's why it's the best episode, the Halloween episode of the
Yes.
podcast. Because he
Also
was
for
actually
a man-
acting like we
also-
were on a. He was actually
Or-
acting like we were on a show.
The blowing up the pumpkin.
No, the podcast.
No, yeah.
That was like a medium
I-
episode for me on Smithy. It was all right. A little too long. I made it long on purpose because I heard somewhere that YouTube is putting out longer videos now, but it work.
It is a bit.
Because they want the views.
You could chop that down just a hair.
They
purposely
want you to
made it 20
stare
minutes.
at the
I
screen.
know, and I purposely didn't watch all 20 because I got bored with it, even though I was there.
That's good news. That's good.
Even
that's
though
good
I
to
was
hear.
there.
That's good feedback. Thank you.
I was bored then, and I'm still bored now.
So you didn't even get to the
Watching
slow
it.
mo bits?
I wasn't bored. No, I fast forwarded to that. I skipped all the other bullshit. I went to the exciting stuff.
Did you
You-
use my thing at the beginning of the numbers as a guide? Did you use
Oh,
my
you
key?
timestamped it? That's
I
nice.
don't even know what you're talking about.
At the beginning, I timestamped all the bits.
Oh no, I just slid over
Oh my gosh.
How'd you know where to go?
because I was there.
What? It's edited. It wasn't a live.
I know, but you didn't start at the end and then end
guess-
at the beginning.
I guess that's the case.
You did them in chronological order. I know what happened.
I guess so.
It's called sobriety.
Holy crap.
2 years ago, 5 years ago, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, you said 2 years ago. I was like, huh?
No, 5 years.
2 years ago. Whoa.
He lied to us.
No.
When did you quit day of?
5 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
By
lower
the
back.
way, are
Sorry.
we gonna address the elephant in the room? And I don't mean me.
I don't see. All right,
Oh.
your joke was better than mine. What are you talking about?
Anybody going to acknowledge anything this week?
About what? You gotta give us the details, cause
I'm just gonna spell it out since I have two people staring at me.
Hold
like
on.
an
Yeah.
idiot.
Hold on. Before you do this, are we getting into another fucking thing like last week?
No,
What are you talking about?
no, I've actually
Nope. What are you talking about?
acknowledging my birthday.
What? Why?
No. During the week, I'm not asking you to acknowledge it now.
Then why are you saying it on the podcast? What are you?
Later,
well, I wanted to do
That's
a
me.
day of because that's what we always done on the past birthdays.
So as
Like,
I
we
was
usually go on
saying
days ofs.
on this podcast
Sorry
that we're
about
doing
that.
right
But that's-
now,
but I
not talking
understand.
about
It's fine.
random personal
Well,
stuff
Jason, we'll do
again
something.
Well,
because we
thank
need
you,
to
thank
do a
you, thank you
podcast
very
this
much.
week instead
Don't-
of last
no,
week.
I'd rather you
I'm
work
just
today.
vamping now until they're done talking about the stuff that we can talk about after the podcast during the lunch we have every single day after the podcast. We're talking about personal stuff. Jesus,
Were we talking about employee meal again?
No.
Jason,
I have to,
What?
because we were talking about this, 10 minutes ago. Now I have to cut out.
Don't cut.
Jason
any
is
of
also, again, weirdness that we figured out during filming. He's in that episode of Smithy. He is the Nostradamus of pumpkin carving.
I don't know about
No one
that.
knows what I'm talking about because no one here watched the full fucking thing. But at the beginning, Jason says stuff like, what it was like he says, "I'm gonna punch the fuck out of this pumpkin." He's like threatening the pumpkins as we're trying to blow them up, and then later you punch it in the slow mo.
Yeah.
You punch it.
I sure wasn't the watermelon that I punched. I punched the shit out of that too.
The
'cause
watermelon,
I was like,
But then also,
I was like, it would not.
before it blew
pop.
up, you like, pop, and you bopped it so fast. I had to slow the
I mean,
footage down.
we did everything with it. WWE style slam it for a second, and then we punched
Yeah, that was
it.
after.
When it fell, I let it fall in hopes that it would just blow up, but nothing.
No, so
And
if
then
you
with
watch
the
that
pumpkin-
episode
the
all the way
pumpkin was more
through, you'll
surprising.
see the bits where you told the future. It was very funny.
Yeah.
It was very funny to me during editing.
Blow up, I'm gonna have to punch it out of the air.
Because Deep Dish asked like,
Oh my god, we're only 20 minutes into this fucking thing and I have to pee.
Whose fault is that?
we need to get back on track here. I need to get her on time. We need to talk about stuff.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's my fault. Oh, is that Van Gogh? Jason,
broke.
do you have your story ready yet? Am I still? And the vamping is done. Are you done?
It's been ready. It took
Oh,
me
well,
like
you
2
kept
seconds.
looking at your phone.
Well, you started something else. I don't know what the hell
Jason's
you're
oh,
talking
he's
about. You're
still
talking about
cutting on
fucking
Jason,
time
right?
dilation, dilutions, or some shit like that.
Time dilution in water.
Dilation. Now all of a sudden time is having a.
You don't know about time
Got that shit
dilation?
diluted for a second, and then he
Don't,
just.
Don't. No, I don't. But
It's
don't.
not. What? Doing what?
Is it really something?
We'll stop. Cut away from Jason because no, he's not talking.
I was
Have you
thinking
never heard?
pregnancy.
I know exactly what you were thinking. That's why I stopped you. Have you never heard that the satellites tick slower, tick faster? I can't remember which way it goes. Than clocks on Earth.
No, I'm not.
That's how GPS functions properly. It's because if we didn't know about time dilation, all GPS would be wrong. Because the satellites would be incorrect. Because it's not just like physical clocks move slower
That
at
makes
that
sense.
speed. Time actually moves
Right.
slower, faster, which I can't remember which direction.
No, that makes sense.
Actually, I do know which direction. So Black holes, time moves slower. Time stops if you fall in a black hole. No. Time stops for everyone outside if looking in if you fall in a black hole. Yeah, so I can't remember which way it goes. But
The
time dilation. Einstein.
got it.
Cool shit. Jason's story now. A more interesting topic, I bet. Go on, Jason. What are you laughing about now? Last week you made the episode with this, so what's going on?
No, that's so stupid.
Nope. Say it. We've learned from this.
No, yeah, you can edit it out. It was
Leave him in a
funnier
sin.
in my head before I could even do anything else. There's a lot of racial slurs in it too, but we
Well, you
don't
know,
want to add that
Jason,
in.
if you keep doing it that way, we'll have more good than bad. So we're good.
Mhm.
What's your story?
What's the story? Okay, yeah, fine. We'll finally bring up the stories.
He goes back to his phone again. That's
So
why I
my
had
question
to
is,
last
so here's
time.
my question. Because it's right here. I don't know why you were staring at your phone. Oh, let me get out this game first.
25 minutes.
Because he opens the game. Do you hear that? Oh, let me get out this game real fast.
25 minutes into the podcast.
Stop counting it. The watch pot never boils. We'll never get done with this.
Yeah.
You're like falling into a black hole of a podcast.
You know
How
what
about you
I'm saying?
edit this out?
Everyone will
then,
pause
okay?
outside of time for
You know
everyone
what?
else.
Because of that, I'm gonna make sure you have to edit this part out. First part, black people.
Jesus.
I wish I could have recorded. Cut, please.
No. So
I wish I could have recorded Deep Dish's face just then.
I know that was a
'Cause just the
perfect
words
facial
black people,
reaction.
not bad. But his face when he said black people was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
You could imagine we offended his ancestors. More shockingly.
Yeah, I guess we.
Um,
no, we do know what. Never mind, Deep Dish.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So
Yeah, this guy complains, but then he goes on his phone for 5 minutes before he gets the story out.
this is my story. Gosh, this is so the worst. The more I think about it, the more I remember it. So we brought up the server. The server actually has a lot of like, it's not anxiety. It's just like he gets overwhelmed very quickly. And so for the day, I had to be his partner because we had one little semi event to take care of, and they only wanted 2 servers to be there. Now, the thing about it is, he overcomplicates a lot of things, but at the same time, like his brain will turn off and he will say like the worst thing you can imagine saying in a room before it, like bouncing right back.
I have no
And
idea
honestly,
what you're
that's the
talking about.
beauty about his work is that he's able to actually bounce back off that, even though people are still kind of confused about it. So for one of the so in that moment, we were trying to fix some minor things up, like trying to set up a TV because they wanted a conference style. They want us to readjust the lighting a bit, and then we're just get started with the service. He walks in, and mind you, this whole group is about black improvement. It is about people coming together and making sure that
Oh
we
God! So this
we
beginning
come
of the
in
story
and
was
we work
true.
on it. And it was, obviously, as you can see, predominantly black people. The thing that threw me off is that he walked in, not even saying hi. He looked at everybody and goes, "Wow, it's really dark in here." I'm like, you need to say hi to the hostess of this group before anything else.
Phrasing. Oh my God!
And then
No,
again,
just
the-
to make that clear, that's why he brought up the lighting before. The lighting was dark
yeah,
in
I
the
was
room.
bringing up the lighting before anything else, before anyone else could acknowledge. He turns around and he goes, "Hi, my name is," and we're gonna be
What?
brightening up the lights in
My
here.
name
Don't
is-
worry.
Who?
Yeah.
My name is.
Sicka Slim Shady. Sorry. What's up?
It's the white in us.
I'm pretty fly for a white guy though.
Okay.
And so through him, we had an
Easy there, officer.
amazing start. So that was one of
How
the
did you
2
not
things
bust
that he
out
hid.
laughing
Then
at that?
Yeah,
I know
did
I
you?
left the room.
Oh yeah, because immediately he came up smiling to me. Which, by the way, would it help you?
sorry.
Whenever I lift up the microphone, that's when you can switch.
Okay.
If you're
And-
looking at the cameras, if you're looking at the computer, I think you should look at us. And just
Okay.
keep your hands, you know.
And so
No, so he came out to me.
yeah, I
Just
walked up
immediately
the
walks up
room
like this,
just holding
like-
it.
He just walks up like this, like he's just sitting here like smiling like this between 2 tables, and I walk up to him, and he's like, "I have a story for the podcast," and he walks away. I'm like, "Write it down," but he wasn't gonna forget that.
I know it completely threw me because I keep forgetting this is like, it's just who he is though. Like he'll
Yeah,
make
it's
a
just
remark, not realizing like the whole picture before he does anything. But again, the way he says himself is just like he just continues onward like it's nothing. So it makes people forget what he says firstly because they have to answer a question he does. Like the same thing. He walks in there, right after we had another table that he had to go to. And for some reason, he always likes to make a joke. And one of his jokes is like, okay, so who can afford this? Again,
Oof.
the wrong timing is that the people who are in that table.
You
And
can't.
so, you can't get mad at him because, again, he can't get in trouble for it.
Get mad at him. I'm saying you can't do that.
Like, that's the thing, though. And again, obviously,
time.
you know, of course, and he goes to probably the black people. He goes to that side and he's like, okay, so who can afford the meal today? Before he's like, but the meal about our delicious seafood service or whatever that he wants to go for his, you know, for his pitch. And again, I keep hearing it, and I can't defend him, nor I can't help him because he's already there.
This man.
And I'm like, okay, well, I can't grab him out of this hole, but he's been doing this for 10 years. Clearly, no one has come up to him. Yeah. Like, this is a system that he's pretty much has been worked
Man's
on.
like 80 years old.
Yeah,
You
no.
say Jason doesn't tip you?
Yes, he refuses to tip me. He doesn't feed me or my children.
Well, he doesn't
And
have
whose
any
fault
food
is
in the
that? Do your
refrigerator.
job.
He doesn't eat from the refrigerator.
Yeah, because I eat it before he gets here. Because the first thing he does is look through my pantry.
Because I'm starving, Jason.
He looks through your panties?
Pantry.
Oh.
All right, well, I'm glad I wrote that down. All right, next.
You can edit
I'm getting
that out.
scoliosis in this chair.
No,
Really
there's
not
no
helping
editing
at
on
all
this
today.
podcast. I've lied to you guys this whole time. No, such Patreon doesn't exist. I made that up.
Oh my gosh, he lied. Of course,
This
of
one just
course
says.
he would have lied.
This one just says Minecraft. I don't know what that is.
Oh, that was for me. I was like, we should play Minecraft, and he was like, okay.
I wrote this note
Ugh. I was like, fine, I'm a
literally
fucking loser. Fine.
2 months ago. That I'm not wearing it today because it's fucking hot.
What?
I'm freezing.
That my
by the way.
clothes would
Yeah.
soon match the weather, right? Because I dress
The same 365.
mostly.
No, I
I
think
dress
it's
for
the
the
same.
weather I want is basically how it goes. And so I wrote this note like 2 months ago, hoping it'd be true by fucking November. It's 80 degrees in New York City in November.
The word's dying.
That my clothes will soon match the weather. Still not fucking true. To this day, what is it?
November.
The fucking 10th of November.
Oh, we're bringing that up again?
Yeah. All right.
I just have no idea why he brought up his birthday in the middle of a fucking
I don't
podcast.
know.
He could have brought it up at lunch. We talk about those things at lunch. Anyway,
I didn't know if we're going to lunch.
fucking, we go to lunch every week.
I don't know. I gotta go get some stuff. I couldn't do anything yesterday.
Well,
It seems to be your fault,
you ate
Jason.
last night and you drank last night.
Stretch.
I feel like I drank last night. I had
Sorry, I had to stretch. Okay.
I was water and soda.
God, I've got
No.
to pee.
So back to part 2.
Damn. That was the perfect time to use that was last week, and I fucking forgot. I have this phrase
That
I want to use.
sucks. Anyways,
Damn it. Jason, roast me again. No, I'm just kidding.
we're gonna start.
What do you want him to do to you?
Where can I start? Spit roast.
He doesn't
Ew,
spit.
what is wrong with you?
No, Deep Dish has no idea what that is. And I'm
Get-
just-
He doesn't spit.
please don't say it again.
Please don't say it again.
All right.
Please don't continue
Jason,
the
do you have something
conversation I
else?
started.
You have something else, Jason?
Not really.
Does I have a
It's
question?
been
None.
kind of slowly a slow week on my end,
We didn't do
sadly.
the podcast for a month. He has nothing to talk about.
Yeah, it's mainly because I'm focused on my life rather than that. Just kidding.
That would have been the time to cut to him.
No, not really. I mean, there was yesterday when I texted you and I was like, "Are you driving today?"
Oh yeah. Let me ask you. Let me hold on. 'Cause let
Because
me read the text.
I
Hold on.
completely fucked over someone's.
Before
like
you
that.
hold on, before we go into this, I got a random text from Jason. Which, by the way, Jason doesn't text me. I always text him, and then he texts me 2 hours later.
Yeah, because I was driving at the
12
time.
p.m. Hey, spelled my name wrong. Are you driving right now?
Did I
I
really
just
spell
say-
your name right? Well, I didn't even type it in. I just used voice control
yeah,
for
that's
that
fine.
one.
I said no. He says, "Oh no, comma. I just pissed."
Oh, it learned commas?
Hold on.
Oh, shit.
This is what the message says. I just pissed on a random person then.
Oh, that's not what I said.
And I
Pissed
questioned.
off someone then.
Example of how he doesn't text me back. I questioned. I said, "Pissed?" Question mark. No answer. Doesn't even read it. It's not even read yet.
Yeah, sorry. After that, I went to a whole debacle with this young one.
So
over
what the
here.
fuck happened? You pissed on
So
a
I
woman?
saw,
you pissed on a young
no,
woman?
So I saw your car, but I thought it was you. So I decided to honk, thinking it was you.
I've never once seen a car my color in my car.
I've seen 7 of your cars in your
Not in
color.
my color?
Yes. I've seen
Obviously
2
not.
drive by. I've seen
Take
3
a
on the
photo
way
because I don't
home.
believe you. I've seen one.
I've
And it was a
seen
lighter shade
one,
of
which
blue.
was yesterday.
So go on. Sorry. What happened?
I thought it was you.
And
So not only did I honk at this car, I got behind it, got to the other lane, tried to get closer to it, but then the light turned green. And then for some reason, my brain was like, well,
oh no,
it's got to be him. So I accelerated, cutting him off.
really?
And I put my hand up, thinking, you text me back or something. And then I realized nothing happened. Instead, they got really on my butt about it, and then they turn, and then they try to get closer, but then I had to make my turn. So I rolled down the window, and I just waved as I made the turn. And then I texted you as I was trying to get to the dog groomer for her. And I was like, hey, are you driving today? And then you're like, no. And I was like, oh, no.
So you just caused a road rage. You literally,
Yeah, I caused
you
someone's
ruined
road
that
rage.
person's day. You know how road rage ruins your day sometimes? You ruined that person's day because you thought
The day
they were
it started.
me.
It has started. It was 12:05
By
or
the
some
way,
shit, and I
have
started
a
them.
relatively unique car for this area. I've seen
Yeah.
maybe 10 in the 2 years that I've driven it.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them, one of them was blue like mine, but it was a lighter shade of blue. It wasn't my blue.
Yeah, a lot of
So I
them
have no
are
idea what he's
like
talking about. He's
grays
seen
and
7.
blacks.
That's
yeah.
wild.
I
And
really
the fact
thought
that I
it was
have
you.
aftermarket taillights and a taillight that doesn't happen on other cars, I put it in myself. But Jason doesn't pay attention to those things.
No,
He
I
tries
did
to run
not.
someone off the road, someone random.
Yeah, I
innocent-
saw the car, I saw the color, and I was like, oh, this is a great thing to say hi to right now. I'm gonna say hi to him.
I was insanely hoping, and I'm really glad you didn't answer my question in the text this time because I wanted to be on the podcast, but I forgot about it. I'm so glad that happened. Sorry for that person. if
I
you're
know,
watching.
very sorry.
See, this is
It
what
could have been a
Shut
family.
Shut up. This is what I'm hoping for with this podcast. Is
been a
eventually people are
kid.
gonna watch it, and then that guy is gonna be watching. He's gonna be like, "Son of a bitch," and he's
Yeah.
gonna know it was you.
It was in all caps.
I cannot wait. Oh, garbage truck. I cannot wait.
It's Amazon Prime.
That's what I said. But thank you. Thank you for setting me up. Thank you for setting me up.
Well, what's up?
I call Amazon garbage
Okay.
because they suck.
You know what
I'm
sucks?
so glad.
UPS.
Oh, every shit. You know the USPS loses like $3 billion every year.
Yeah, I hope they don't lose my shit. And,
They will because they lose $3 billion every year. Like not as a company, as a structured thing. It's not just like the loose packages that are worth $3 billion. As a company, they lose $3 billion a year. That's fucking, and they're still open.
It's government.
They suck.
Yeah, they do. They used to be good.
Government can't run a
Used to be a
business.
good country.
That's why a businessman shouldn't run the government. Anyway, so I'm actually mad about that. I've never been mad
Should
about
or
that
shouldn't?
before.
What'd you say?
About
Should not.
what?
Oh, should not. I don't know
I
about that.
A businessman should run the government. Don't come to me on that.
About what? Matt,
That's
about
good.
What?
I don't know,
The
bro. If I
president.
get fast pass for things, I think I'd be pretty happy.
That should be the title of this
Premium
podcast. A
subscriptions
businessman
that
should
exist.
run the government. That's the title of the podcast.
That'd be so
Yeah,
fucked up.
yeah,
Could you
that's
imagine
nothing like-
premium
nothing like
subscriptions?
alienating half your audience.
To be fair, it's about 58%. That's why he won.
Mm.
I think it's significantly north of that, which is shocking.
I was gonna say.
I think it was like 69.
I think
something.
it'd be crazy. Could you imagine getting like premium subscriptions for your existence? Just like
What?
What?
No, I
good.
didn't hear
That's
what
what
you said.
corporate. I'm like,
What
could you imagine
subscription?
getting premium subscriptions for
Premium.
your existence?
I heard like cum or something. I don't know
All
what.
heard was
What is wrong
PM.
with you two? Why are you guys like so like?
Well,
horned
because
up?
He was fixated on you.
Hey, careful where you click
Why'd
that
you,
button.
why'd you smack it like that?
I know. You didn't hit the stop recording button. I hope not.
No, I hope not.
Well, I hope I did because I have to.
Is there a blue button? Is it still lighting up blue?
Blue light on.
I don't. There's a lot of blue here, bro.
No, there's only
Once
one
the
light
stop
blue.
Recording is blue.
Thank you. If it says stop recording, that means it's blue. If it says record, that means it's gray.
We're 44 minutes into this debacle.
Thank you.
Okay.
I thought we were done.
Nah, we've been taking it slow.
I guess we could be. No, because
We've
we
been
I had to cut so
chill.
much out. We're probably only at
10
35 minutes, 10 minutes. We're probably only at 35 minutes. Maybe like 37,
Mhm.
39.
I can't wait to find
so-
out exactly how many minutes.
It's going to be 39:45. Now it has to. I'm going to make it I'm the
I know.
editor. I didn't hire an editor, by the way. That was a lie. So I'm gonna be the 30 exactly. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make
Well,
sure.
I wouldn't do
39.59.
39, but
No, I'm gonna do 39.45. What I said it the first time, or this time, whichever works out better.
well, then we may as well just end it now.
So I actually have a question for the
Sorry,
room.
I'm a little sleepy.
A classic podcast question. The
I had a
room
good
can
couple of hours of sleep, but I'm a little hungry.
Answer in the comments, sons of
you went out and
bitches.
got fucked
Someone
up last
someone needs to answer in the comments because if we don't get, how long is it gonna take for you to cut to me? So because we don't get comments, nothing. YouTube doesn't like us. All right, YouTube has to like us for us to get going.
They don't? I'm sorry.
You need to stop looking at the cameras because if you look at the cameras, you don't get any of this.
I know. I was looking at him.
And then you click that's why you get the fingers there. Just go. Oh.
You gotta be like the monkey from Toy Story 3, you
Don't say
know,
monkey.
which is like waiting for that moment, and then they hit the camera.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with monkey. The first time.
I'm a monkey.
Monkey.
All right.
Wait, what? That sounds worse.
That's
I
what I'm
know.
saying. I'm gonna.
That
I said
example.
at first I said don't say monkey. He went on with it. I said you know what? Monkey.
I'm a
Okay.
monkey?
All right.
Am I like Gentle George?
Play
What's
with
that?
your
What is that cartoon,
energy.
George?
Curious George.
Ooh, Curious
Did
George?
you say gentle George?
I know, you say Gentle George. Who's that? His cousin? What the fuck is that? What?
I don't know.
Gentle George is
His
his
twin cousin from Nevada or some shit.
I'm gonna write that down. What?
From Reno.
Someone call 911. All right.
Why? Shorty fire burning on the dance floor.
That was the whitest
Sorry
thing
if
you've
I'm
ever
like
said.
I'm readjusting the couch constantly because I'm trying to make sure I don't hit the mic, but I'm also trying to make sure
Don't worry,
I'm
no one
still
cares.
good at the quality of the mic. You will when you have to fucking edit this stuff.
You
and
said
realize-
OU?
Yeah, no, I said you will.
Oh, I thought you said OU. I was like, you owe me. I was like, oh,
Yeah. Huh?
goddamn. I've given you so many microphones. You've broken one. All right.
Since when?
So here's the question for the
Mhm.
podcast, for the people at home. If you
Ask
go
your
to sleep
titties.
after 3 a.m., do you get an extra? Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Fucking stop!
Ask the real question.
All right.
Ask the titties.
Okay, so what?
Me too.
What? What'd you say? You know, fun. Okay,
Asking the real question.
a little tangent. I get asked that question. This is gonna be a really personal answer. Cut the camera.
What?
This is gonna be a really personal answer. I always get tangent from the question. I always get asked that question because men are disgusting, and I never give a good answer because
Oh.
first of all, it's weird. Second of all, I've never had to choose, and that's the answer.
Look at him, Mr. White Man. Oh, doesn't have to.
That's every single time. That's the
knew
answer
it.
I get.
I was gonna
every
say. I was
single
gonna say,
time.
It's the most generic.
That's the truest answer I've ever given to anything personal, and except for the stutter, and you saw that work last week. And that's what every time I get that. And so I've never had 2 weeks ago. I've never had to choose because the ladies that I've been with have had both most every time. And so
Describe both. What do you mean?
And some of the guys too.
yeah, but not
Oh,
not
lucky
not titties,
bastard.
though.
Sorry, I was waving hi. I was waving bye to the neighbor. I don't.
No, I
I
know.
don't think you saw me.
No,
but-
I didn't. Do you look in people's windows if they're saying bye to you in their living room when you're driving away?
Have you not done that? Just say bye to your neighbor, like, hey, bye.
No, I'm saying, do
Take
you
care.
when you're driving away, do you look into your neighbor's window to see if he's saying bye to you?
No, but it's
Well,
just
there
I
you go.
haven't glanced.
No. So that's like I've never liked that question. A and B, I've never had an answer for it because I've never had to choose. And whenever I say that, it's always like, like what you just did. Obviously you did it as a joke, but it's like I think that's
Gosh.
so funny. Like people, it's like I don't know what it comes from. Is it like assuming I'm lying, or is it assuming jealousy? I don't know what.
So I was trying to hold in my laughter. I will say I think part of it is lying, because we can't deny the truth on it. Like when it comes to like actual physical appearances and what you do find attractive to, a lot of the majority is going to be breasts or ass.
And for
That
me,
yeah, and so that's kind of what a lot of people like kind of just gravitate towards, because
gravity,
physical attraction is a real thing.
time dilation by the ass.
You know, physical attraction is a real thing. It is something that does wire some people to into
Hot
it.
top-
Still attracted to
But-
them an hour after
Okay,
the time changes.
no, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, depends on what.
Yeah, Jason, go on.
I don't know.
Nope.
No.
Depends on 3, 2, 1.
I was gonna say it depends if the bag is on or off at that point.
Jason! Jesus!
Wild card.
Because if you're there at 2 a.m., at that point, either you hit the gold or you're like, fuck, this
Have
is
you
the
ever
last
done-
stream.
Actually, that's always been.
It's a double bagger, though.
Stop
because
it.
of the time change.
Stop it.
Double back.
That's always been like a joke on TV. You've never done that, right?
Put a bag on someone's head?
Not a literal bag, but you've never like covered someone's face like with a pillow or something.
Oh.
Oh, you have.
No, I'm just kidding.
Ah.
What?
No, because immediately when you said it, I was curious. I was like, is there something to that? Should we put bags? Is bag a thing? Because apparently ladies like the mask.
Like the what?
It was a thing for a couple of months, like on TikTok. Ladies, you can get to me. Ladies were talking about how they wanted their guys to wear like a scream mask during.
Oh, but
During
that's
doings?
just them. Yeah, that's just them being whatever.
So I'm wondering if
What
there's
kind
like
of fucking feed do you have on TikTok?
it gets
people
weird
feed. What
sometimes.
do you
dude.
expect?
No, so what?
You
Is that the same people who like bring the knife and you're like, what the fuck you mean?
Yeah, it's the same. Bring the knife.
Yeah,
They were
you
the
can,
dudes.
like,
you can control that, right? You know
Yeah.
that.
you can
100%.
control that, right? Like,
100%. I built this FYP brick by brick.
yeah, you did. Nasty.
I can't wait for.
I just
someone
can't
to
tell which
blow
brick you're
down.
talking about.
Speaking of bricks, no. So they were. Anyway, no. So I'm thinking, like, is that
Thank God.
should we
this-
bag? Should we bag them? Bag them up.
Should we bag him?
I'm wondering
Just
if it's a
remember,
thing.
bag him up is a different term altogether.
Hmm.
But
It's bag 'em and tag 'em.
Is
Thank
that-
God this
That-
podcast.
Oh,
is
there's the
full-
elephant in the room.
yeah. By the way, good choice of words, Deep Dish. I appreciate that. That
What
saying is a good classic.
What is?
Bag him and tag him.
I found the elephant finally in the room.
The deal is this.
So when's your birthday?
Thank God it's
Yeah,
not
but-
because of me that this podcast has fallen apart.
Thank God, because we would have
Thank the
blamed you
heavens.
You still will.
today. Yeah.
And last week.
So here's the question.
Sorry.
Here comes our guest star.
So question to the room, Lando included if he wants, because it's not about the restaurant.
Orlando, listen.
He doesn't have to. You can walk through. It doesn't matter. Is there something? Because I heard someone ask this question, and I really
What-
want to pose it to the room.
Question.
Is-
Ass or titties?
Oh my God. Why not both? We're the
There you
same,
go.
Lando. We're the same.
See?
We're not.
There you
Hey!
go. There it is. There it is. That's what I was saying.
Damn.
earlier.
Really? Gay jokes?
That's what
2024?
I was saying
He was-
earlier.
2024 gay jokes?
I know, but
he
the
was
thing is,
he
didn't
was on
realize he
point
was
with
saying
that.
about him.
We got actually real questions now. No, go on.
I heard this.
we've
Someone
been
else
cutting
asked
you
this
off.
question. It was like a doctor talking about it, and he had a cool answer from his perspective as a doctor. But is there anything that people do right now, society as a whole, the world, that or just the U.S., that you think the future generations will be like, what the fuck were they doing? So the doctor's answer was colonoscopies with an actual camera, like sticking a camera up an ass. He was thinking like that would be seen as like barbaric in the future. Is there anything that you think, and to give you more time to think, because I actually want a real answer, I have an answer.
Yeah, everything.
I think the prison system in the U.S. will easily be seen as second generation of slavery from future generations, because it's in the Constitution. I think it's the 22nd Amendment. It's totally legal slavery, basically, because it says that slavery. No, sorry, the 13th Amendment, whichever one bans slavery. I'm pretty sure 13th. I don't know why I said the 22nd. The 22nd has to do with presidential terms. That's why I was thinking about that earlier. The 13th Amendment. There's something clause in there where it says shall not own a human or like forced labor, excluding punishment, meaning prisons. Then we have a privatized business in the U.S. as prison system. So I think in not too long future time, our American prison system will be seen as slavery
not
and like
too long.
seen
prison
as like
time.
what the fuck. Like we look at slavery
I hope
today,
it's not too long.
like actual slavery, like full blown slavery. In the future generations, I feel like that. I think that's what's going to change.
But
Jason,
yeah,
you got one? Toilets.
everything.
Why do you-
Everything is
No, but I mean,
changing
like-
as we
like-
speak. Like even now, even the generations now view things as barbaric as it is, and it's not just as like the most complicated stuff that comes around, like doctors and stuff, and just doing the procedures. Even some things of the olden days, even now. Um, crap. What was it before? I mean, I guess to bring it back into the prostate exams and stuff, we do have a server who actually brought this up a while ago. Is that he said that back then he had a system that he needed to get checked up on, and what was back then is that he needed to get checked up the old school way. Actually, going through the procedures, being uncomfortable, and then being having to deal with that process for about 5 minutes. And even though it was 5 minutes to him, it was a long fucking 5 minutes.
Finger banging, yeah.
And then to get the results. Now they don't have to do any of that. It's just a simple swab and done to figure out what his situation is. That is not even that long ago. To him, it was 5 years ago. Now that is such a huge change in technology.
Yeah, but it's not seen as
But-
like barbaric. Like he's saying that the colonoscopy people will seem like they'll wonder why we ever even did that with the
It
cameras.
is barbaric to him because to him he didn't like that idea. So what he's doing now, he's saying is a godsend to him because it means that he's more comfortable with that. Systems now, even my nephews themselves are viewing things in the past as barbaric. They're like, we really had to do all this stuff. I'm like, well, yeah, that's
And I'm
just how the
saying,
way
what do
of
you
living.
think things that we're doing now,
And I
future?
just
will
do
say?
mean every little thing, even just driving itself is barbaric. Like my sister is doing well enough in her own self
Weird.
that she actually got herself a decent car. To him, it's barbaric to think that there's nothing else in this car that no one else would have. And to him, what he considers barbaric is not having smart steering. You know, the ones where it just kind of keeps you leveled. To him, if it's not there, then that car is insane to not have it. To him, to be able to know what hybrids are is better than to ever exist a simple car to not have that feature at all.
I mean, I was mostly trying to think of
Is
like,
that barbaric though too? To
No.
have to use gasoline and fuck up the environment.
To them, they think it kind of is because
Well,
they.
that's an example,
Right.
yeah. But that's what I was
But
looking
that's
for
what
more
I'm-
than
Yeah.
I'm saying, no, but that's
more than what
I'm
Jason was
saying.
talking about.
But that's a product of.
I don't know what Jason's
That's a
talking.
product of
I've-
evolution.
Yeah.
So everything starts, I guess, at everything. I think can be considered something or somewhat barbaric because you got to start somewhere, and as things evolve, they become more and more comfortable to the consumer
Yeah,
to make things comfortable. I somewhat disagree, but I do agree that the prison system is a business. I think
Oh yeah, because
Well, that's
they.
not-
those people.
no, I'm saying I was just trying to think of like a bigger example of things we do now that are seen as higher level, like a car, gasoline, and more of an answer like that versus just everything. Obviously, everything eventually. I'm saying like I was just
Eventually
wondering
we're
on
going to become
specifics.
the Jetsons. Is what's going to happen.
The Jetsons.
That's sure hope so.
Also, one thing to point out is like the American system when it comes to the prison system altogether is that it is not privatized, but it is like a quota base. Like they've already admitted that they
No, it is
need a
privatized.
certain group of people to actually be in there so they can be okay. Not have to
Do you
deal
guys
with
not
pain.
know that it is? Because you said
Oh, it is
opinion.
privatized. Okay, cool.
It's 100%. Their business
Yeah.
is. It's a
Oh, yeah, I
privatized
was gonna say
business.
I was trying to get away from that because the one thing I have
Well,
noticed recently is that they're already talking
Companies.
about the
No,
government.
the guy would make it not privatized.
Yeah.
There's privatized. Yes, there are government-owned jails and prisons.
Yeah.
I'm
But
saying there are
that doesn't
privatized
matter. Yeah,
business,
they're
like
actually
they have to make
privatized.
money.
Yes, and because of that, they have like essential. There's no denying it. They actually have a quota. They will never admit that there is a quota, but they have a quota of actually keeping people in there and
This
to
is
make
gonna-
sure that they stay there at the certain points for when they do their
Prisoners make
annuals.
stuff.
This is
For,
gonna
like,
sound
yeah,
very
30 cents an
ignorant
hour.
on my part.
Already.
I thought the government funded all of the prisons.
They do
Maybe.
to a certain extent,
But
but
it's
the
not.
thing-
It's grants. It's not like totally funded.
and then that's what I mean. Like it's them not wanting to admit that there's a quota, but for in order to get like let's say those grants, they have to have a certain ruling. Oh, essentially, you have to have meet certain demands. The
Just
problem
like a
with that
school.
is that what are those demands? Because I can guarantee you, some of them they probably talk to the government under certain just on the ground stuff to say, this is the demands we want to hit. We're gonna hit them. Please just let us keep giving us some of the money.
Just like
Again,
in the school system, which a certain future president and past president wants to defund if they don't teach the right things. If a prison
state by
doesn't do
state
the right
basis.
things, the government won't give them money.
and that's what a lot of people
But
are aggravated
some
with.
prisons are just total businesses that cut on
Is it-
food costs, cut on all these things to keep slave labor to make money. They make products to make money.
Is it a function of level of prison? Because I think there's a
No.
hierarchy of prisons where
No.
you have the people that are in low security prisons
Mm,
versus
no.
maximum security. And
No.
where does it?
The answer is no.
So
It doesn't matter on level.
it doesn't matter. Okay.
There
No.
are
It
privatized
is
prisons.
I'm
based
just
on
asking,
location and its
'cause
existence.
Yeah, I know, but I
I'm
answered the
asking
question.
because I don't know.
I answered the
Yeah.
question.
No, for them it is
I know
essentially.
you were annoyed by it. I
Because you
wasn't
kept
trying to be
going.
annoying.
I know,
was-
but you kept going.
He's
because
trying
I
to
was
finish
to
his
make it
question.
clear
What are
in
you
my
saying,
head.
Jason?
I know.
He's trying to finish his question. He just wanted to finish his question before he got the answer.
I know, but he takes forever.
And
Oh,
so, oh my
Jesus
gosh.
Christ on I know.
But
right?
and so, but no, but the key factor for that is actually location based, depending on what actual jail system you're wanting to refer to. That's why even so, like I learned this from security. Like, in every job already has this kind of mentality around it, but I feel like security is like the best example of it. Is like who you stick with and what you see around you is gonna be normalized because that's what you're stuck around. Obviously, that's the same ruling everybody had. Same thing goes with the jail system. If you're in certain places where they just don't give a shit about you and they'll let you just eat like one meal if they fucking could, well then that's what you're gonna be stuck with. That's why the system for us is always a bad thing. That's why if you compare it to like what was it, Switzerland I think or Sweden, they have a different. It's more like a rehabilitation system for them. They go in there, they figure out what the problem was, and if they themselves, the person who's in prison, bounces back and wants to start his life anew, well then they'll take him back out.
I'm
They're
glad
not
you.
gonna try to treat him anything less than a human because anything less means that they don't deserve anything that's right above them. You know.
I'm glad you brought that up because I actually just saw a video of an American prison who had a sector, like I think they call it like whatever country it was, Switzerland sector, where they had video games and a cat and like furniture in an area for
Cat.
them to sit and
Yeah.
actually potentially rehabilitate instead of. And they said that the other sectors of the prison have problems with weapons and that and like all that stuff. He says this sector has way less. So it's like obviously that it works better, but
Yeah.
it doesn't make as much money, so they're not going to do it.
Oh yeah, no, it's not gonna make much money. Yeah. Because like I said, there's a
What
quota
do
they
these
need to
people
hit.
do that produce money.
I don't know. It's like
It's
making the
small
license plates.
stuff, yeah.
Like it's I don't know. They like.
I mean, license plates are probably the most generic stuff that you can probably think of because license plate system is something that they use. Because here's the problem: is that for the prisoners, it's considered as community service, which means that they can get out a little early or they don't have to do whatever the fuck.
Maybe the money
they're in
does
there
come
for.
just from the government, like you're saying,
But
it's grants like that.
I'm not saying I'm asking.
I'm saying like
Yeah.
grants, and it's like we were saying before. Maybe that's where like if they don't maybe that's where the money. I don't know exactly where it comes from. I assumed it was product making, but it could be because they follow these rules. The government gives them money, and so that's how they make money.
And that's what I mean. That's why it's based on certain locations. Because again, what's this, if it's privatized, even though it is still quote unquote government parted or government owned, it's not gonna stop
Funded.
them from sitting down with whoever their supervisor, the quote unquote supervisor is, talking to them about, I want the grant. What is the best way to get that grant money? And for them to be like, just keep
Cheapest.
like
What's the cheapest way?
75% busy. Make sure that the jail cells are 70% occupied. If you can do that, well then we'll keep giving you the money. Obviously, that's their version of a quota. They're never gonna admit that because obviously that's just gonna sound fucking horrifying to find out. Like, oh yeah, we'll find any way to put you in jail, in our jail specifically.
And that breaks down into
And-
something we can't talk about here
Yeah,
necessarily,
exactly. And
where
it
it's
just breaks
like
down to the whole system that we can't talk about.
where it's like certain people will go to prison for no reason just to fill those numbers.
Yeah.
No real reason. Like jaywalker. Not really, but like jaywalkers as
Yeah.
an extreme example. Will go to prison just to set those numbers up.
And that's
Not, no examples here that I said we're not going to talk about. This is why I said we're
I
not going
do.
to talk about
So
it.
any-
because- yeah, because I don't know all the numbers and stuff. But
exactly. At this point, it's beyond us and our understanding because we're just gonna go based on statistics, but we don't have that information at all,
yeah,
and we're not gonna.
we're not a
Oh,
statistical
the stream,
podcast. We're
yeah.
No, I think that ship sailed at.
what the numbers? If you sleep this
Oh
long,
my God!
The
will you
numbers-
Stop that fucking.
I'll bring it up next
Listen,
week.
I have a
There's gonna be a whiteboard here when the camera
I-
starts next
What's
week.
up?
I have a question. Why's it got to be white? I have a question.
It's a pretty fly
Okay.
for a whiteboard.
I read an.
Whiteboard.
I tried not to laugh. I tried so hard not to laugh at that.
You read
I read an article that a place in a jail in the Netherlands
Netherlands, that's what it was.
was closed because
Oh,
they didn't have any prisoners.
yeah,
And
they were all rehabilitated. It's
right.
that kind of thing won't necessarily work in the U.S. because we actually have a lot of.
Well, what do you think about people like, for example, like these people are dead, like a John Wayne Gacy, for example, like people like serial killers or somebody that really like.
That's what I was getting at. Is Netherlands probably doesn't have a higher number of serial killers.
I'm not talking about Netherlands. I'm talking about.
I'm saying
here
I'm relating to both. Netherlands doesn't have a bunch of serial killers.
that you know of.
Exactly. That the prison system knows of. So that's why stuff like that would work over there more because they have a lower population, lower of those numbers.
Right.
We have more serial killers because we have a higher population and other things.
But I'm not talking about that. I'm
We have
talking
hatred.
about considered to be barbaric. Like you know, if you're saying these prisons are businesses, then what do you care if someone like a Gacy is behind bars?
Because it's not just the Gacy's. It's the guy who
had a
his
gram
friend was in a gang
of
and he rode in a
Juliana.
car with him one day, and now he's in prison for 35 years because he was in that car.
by association, essentially.
Right.
And that guy is being treated just like Gacy. That's the problem. That's a problem.
Another problem
I
that
tend to agree with you on that.
another problem is that like I understand like cops have two meanings of where their locations are. 'Cause, like,
That's why I
and-
voted for Trump. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm
And-
sorry. Say that again.
Yeah, the camera's panning. But that's the problem when it comes to cops and locations, because again, cops can mean two things. One is that the place is strongly secure.
A businessman
or two,
should run the government is the funniest. Sorry.
It shows that the environment is dangerous, which is
Wait.
again why cops are always viewed as a threat. They're supposed to be a threatening thing. The situation is, what is the environment going to tail them for? That's why you have a lot of considered a lot of locations to be known as the ghetto parts, is because cops just happen to be there. Why? Because they know that that's where the job.
Yeah, just look
needs
outside
them
the
to be.
window.
And so, that's another problem that a lot of people have, is that if you think the environment is dangerous, well
I
then therefore
apologize.
you must be dangerous yourself to survive it. That's why you still have a lot of situations where people assuming that they need to do, essentially
Gang
essentially
shit?
they have to put their life on the line to protect what is theirs, even though they don't really have to do that. But if an environment
There are street corners and that.
entices them to do it, well then they just have to go on assumption that they have to be what they are born into.
Look at us talking about gang violence. We know what we're talking about. Cut to me. I know about gang violence. All right, are we done yet?
Yes, we are.
I don't know
It's
anything
a
about gang
minute and
violence.
10
I walked
minutes
out.
into this thing, and I've had to
What's that
pee
again?
a minute and 10 minutes, an hour.
A minute and 10 minutes.
No, you said it twice. That's why I was like, what are you talking about?
I
A minute
know.
and 10 minutes. I didn't know
Sorry.
if you meant an hour and a minute and you were
It's-
saying 10
Mhm.
seconds.
It's an hour and 10 minutes.
Thank you. I didn't think we were that far in. All right.
The only
And
thing
I had
I'm
to pee
genuinely
since
curious about
5 minutes in.
The only thing I'm genuinely curious about is the Department of Education. The fact that it's been dismantled and leaving it up to states, I actually genuinely would like to
And
know.
he wants to do it further. Wait, do the dance. Jason, dance with me.
And then-
He wants to bring down the government. I don't know what I was talking about.
So I mean, I
He
might
doesn't
get,
care
I
about the
might, I
people.
might get flagged for this immediately. I'm just curious to see what happens by state, because I understand the Department of Education was something that was supposed to help a lot of people.
Do you know what happened last
But
time we
I-
decided that the states should do everything?
Well, exactly. That's what I mean.
What
and
happened
that's
last
why I generally want to know what's going to happen, because this generation has already
Cut to the what?
changed, quote unquote changed.
Hey, Jason,
So I genuinely want to understand what that
what
could
happened
be.
last time? Do you know?
A lot of random shit. I can tell you that.
No. What happened? One big event, Jason. What happened last time?
No, I don't remember the event at all.
The Civil War, Jason.
Oh yeah, okay. I was gonna say Civil War.
The Civil War happened last
You
time the
weren't.
states.
Was probably one.
I was
was
gonna
probably
say
going
that.
to be one of the biggest thing I probably did not expect to come from
Cut
it.
to me.
But that-
Sorry, Jason. I'm gonna cut you off real fast. I wasn't gonna talk about this, but I've been bringing it up all this podcast.
yeah,
The last time the states decided on things, literally, the Civil War happened.
yeah,
And I'm very concerned. I was having a time at work the other day. Way too much in thought. Very concerned. Not really able to work very hard. Because I see all this division. And it sucks. And the last time the states decided these things, and the states wanted to decide these things, and the government kind of forced the states into deciding these things, it was literally the Civil War. So I'm very concerned. And
Yeah.
we're not going to talk about that anymore because it makes me very...
Don't you love when history
Freaked
repeats
out.
itself?
People don't learn. Yeah.
But like I said, I still stand on it only because of simply just because the generations
I still stand by the Civil
are
War.
existent. It's just another example of like, if we say we changed and we evolved at this point, well then there might be a chance of changing it altogether.
Stay on the white. Stay on the white.
Obviously, we're still gonna get a couple bad eggs because that's how some states are. They refuse
No,
to
we're gonna have a
actually
couple of bad
adopt and
eggs 'cause
change.
You guys go to the grocery
Yeah.
store once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad eggs, California. Anyway,
They're just mad because we actually eat the food that we buy.
that
And we
actually
don't
might be
save
the
it for
case.
them.
Yeah, but when you buy a kernel of corn, it's all relative.
All right.
What?
Thanks for watching.
When you don't buy a lot and you
We
eat
claim
it,
not to be political on this show, and here we go. Hard to avoid it when you're
Might
an
be
adult.
political. What? You were talking about ass and titties. That's how we got here.
Those are the highest politics. Those are what we need to deal with.
I didn't even
All
get to
right.
say my point on that one, too.
Which bit? Oh, go ahead.
The ass and titty part. I'm upset. No, we have no time
Cut to
now. He's
Jason.
already trying to end it.
I'm cutting to Jason.
What's up?
By the
Just
way,
look at the
is
camera and say,
anyone on the
hold on.
distract-
Hold on. Just look at the camera and say one word.
Oh, one word? That's not fun.
No, I'm saying the of the decision. Go.
No.
One word. Just yell it.
Can I say one sentence? This is a lot more fun if I say one sentence.
Oh, go ahead.
Say one sentence.
Go ahead. I didn't know where this was going.
No, I don't know either. I'm making it up as I go.
Aw. Go ahead.
Forget about ass and titties. We need to ask the real questions, okay? This is for you, audience, okay? What is your question? Booty holes or ear holes?
All
Which
right,
one
next.
is it?
Cut away. Cut away. Cut
Which
to
one
me.
is
Don't
it?
even do the wide. Cut to me. Don't even do the wide.
That was nasty. This
Bye.
is not cleaned up properly.
I'm gonna bleep that. It's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bleep
No,
that.
you're not. You're not.
I just want to say one last
Why?
thing. Remember, audience.
Oh, sorry.
Love yourself. Physical attraction is a real thing, but remember,
What?
always stand on who you are.
Hot take. Physical
So
attraction is real.
Don't let people try to force that energy on you. If you just want to generally find someone with your spiritual
Cut to me.
inquiries, fucking go for it.
Just don't
Inquiry's
love
not the
yourself
right
in the
word.
ear hole. Wide.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
I'm
y'all
the
take it
only
easy.
audience member, though.
Turn the camera.
Where's my dog?
I'm the only
Poor
audience.
doggy dog.
Hold on. Let's do this like a fucking like a good night like a late night show.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Everybody have a good show tonight. Bye, everyone. Good night. Have a good night, America. That was my
No,
worst.
he didn't do his outro.
No one cares. That was the worst.
Podcast we've ever done.
No.
Yeah, second.
That was the worst. What's his name? The nighttime host.
Oh,
Have a good show.